Hi everyone, it's Betsy, your Kohl's Classroom Pro mentor here. And today I want to talk with you about a couple of my tips that I keep in mind when I am photographing male seniors. So something that I noticed pretty early on in my photography journey was that when I was photographing female seniors, it was really pretty easy. Now, maybe that's because I'm also a female, but I really just didn't have a hard time getting a wide variety of poses from them, different things that I would have them do, lean, do with their hands, play with their hair, all these different things, hanging onto their skirt, whatever. And when I started photographing more male seniors, I found that I really was struggling a lot more with how to pose them and like what to have them do. And I kind of felt like, okay, I mean, how many pictures can I take of this guy like with his hands in his pockets, or whatever. And I realized that those first few male senior photo sessions that I did, we were out in like these wide open areas, and we were in a space where there wasn't a whole lot to like quote unquote do besides have them stand there. And I realized that I needed to begin coaching my male seniors in choosing a location, because I realized very quickly that the location made all of the difference, especially when I'm photographing male seniors. So when I am doing that, like my secret tip that made a world of difference for me is that I make sure now that I am photographing my really all of my seniors, but especially males, somewhere where there are places to lean and where there are places to sit. And it has just made a huge difference, because when you're out in a wide open field, like sure, it looks really cool, but there's not a whole lot you can do. Like you're going to stand there and you're like, cross your arms, put your hands in your pockets, and you're kind of out of stuff to do, especially for a guy. Now for a girl, you can have her walk, you can have her twirl. There's like a little bit more that you can do. But for a guy, like you run out pretty quickly. So that has kind of become my secret weapon, is making sure that I find places where there are things to lean on and things to sit on. So I thought that just really quick, I would walk you through just a couple of, I just pulled a few from several different male senior sessions. For time's sake, I'm not going to take you through the whole gallery, and I'm not going to take you through every senior. I just picked, I think I've got 4-ish here, and I'm just going to show you like what that looks like and the difference that it makes. Let me scroll up here. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Let me just make this bigger. Okay, so here we've got a really cool, like this was an old train car, I think. I'm trying to remember. It was really cool. But notice, like, he can lean his back on it. He can lean on the side with his arm up. He can lean facing it. Like, right there, 3 totally different pictures, and we were essentially standing in one spot. So leaning, like huge variety just by being able to lean on something. And then another thing that I like to have, really all of my seniors, but like guys especially, they seem to always be really interested in like taking photos with their truck, or whatever. So again, like that's a cool way to have them like lean on something. Here's another thing, like we were out on this farm. They had this really cool old farm truck. So again, kind of something to like interact with, if you will. Let's see here, just another one leaning on the truck. So this next session, you'll see a couple of ways that I utilized walls and like some really cool architecture. Again, here we are, we're leaning, like leaning on the shoulder, leaning a little bit in front of the wall, crossing the leg over. Here's a different wall in this park area that we were at. This time we're leaning our back on it, and just kind of, you can see like his hands are kind of relaxed. You can't see his legs, but they were just kind of, one was crossed over the other, got the hands in the pockets, a nice relaxed pose. Then we found some places to sit. So this was just like on top of like a rock, like just kind of sitting, leaning forward. If we're sitting just kind of straight up, that looks really prim and proper and not super relaxed. But with guys, you just kind of have them lean that one arm forward. And that's a great way to get a nice relaxed sitting pose. Here we are sitting and leaning on a bridge. And then we just stood right up. And again, we're leaning still on the bridge, but now we've got something to lean on. Here we're sitting, we're leaning, shooting from above. I could pull back and shoot from straight on, like so many different things that you can do when you're sitting and leaning. So here's another example. Stairs are awesome. I think I've got a few different stair photos here in these next couple of ones. And it's so simple to just have them sit, lean forward, nice and relaxed. Because one of the things with seniors, and especially males, girls are kind of used to having their photo taken. They're taking selfies for Instagram all the time. Guys, they're not usually as into it and they're not as comfortable. And so the way that you're posing them matters so much, because if they feel awkward, it is going to show. And so you have to be able to coach them through and place them in very natural feeling poses so that they feel confident and they don't feel like they look ridiculous. If they feel insecure and they feel like they don't know what to do, it's going to show in their photos. So that's just kind of another side tip. Like as you're posing them, try to keep them as natural as possible. And when it's not super natural, like you can make a joke of it. Like for example, one of the things I might say in a photo like this, when we're literally sitting on the ground in a park, leaning against a wall, I'm like, okay, just lean against that wall, like you do when you come and like hang out in the park all the time, just kind of laugh about it. Like, okay, obviously this isn't natural, and kind of address that. And that just helps them relax. Like, this is okay. So again, just more sitting and leaning. Here's another one, standing and leaning, leg crossover, hands in the pockets. You can do arms across the chest. And then I also like to look for things that like can enhance the photo visually. So here, I really liked how we had these like black windows in the background and just the balance of the photo and the symmetry. I loved it. And so for something like this, it was just super simple and visually made a statement, even while like he's not doing anything super interesting. He's literally standing there with his hands in his pockets. But the photo is so visually appealing because we have this cool like architectural or environmental element that's just like balancing the photo and making it dynamic. So you can get cool photos just having someone stand there with their hands in their pockets. It doesn't always have to be something like super crazy. So another stair photo. Again, I love the symmetry when you've got like a centered photo with stairs and all of that. So I tend to use that a lot. And another standing and leaning. So here we've got, I have a couple more sitting poses to show you here. So here he's just sitting on a stair. I'm shooting from a little bit above, and you can see again how I've just got him leaning forward and just kind of, hey, just kind of take your hand and just like put it under your chin. You don't have to lean on it, but just kind of have it up. Like that's what I would say. Here we've got a light post. We're leaning on the light post. Here we are, we're sitting. These are actually stairs as well, but I shot in a little bit tighter. Another sitting, just hang out on the bench, pull your arm back. Then I don't think I have it here, but I also had him like lean forward and rest his arms on his knees. So again, lots of variety. More stairs, more leaning. Here we were walking downtown, cool railing just to kind of lean on. Again, like when you have things around you and you're paying attention to like, what can I have them lean on? What can I have them sit on? There's so much variety and you're able to just get so many different things. More leaning, another leaning, looking off. So here's another one. We're leaning on the wall. Here we're sitting against the wall. So, I mean, if you can tell, like, as I'm moving through these, this is part of why I wanted to show you photos from like a handful of sessions. I'm really doing the same essential core poses for every male. But as you're going through, as you look through their gallery, there's so much variety in their individual gallery because we've got all these different things that we're doing. So here, again, we're just standing, but just like that image before, over here, we have a really cool dynamic background that, hey, we can just stand here with our hands in our pockets, and it's really cool because we've got this really neat background that's behind us and just kind of helps add a little bit of punch to the photo. So here we're leaning again while we're sitting. So you'll notice that in photos, even where I'm having them sit, I'm having them lean one way or another. So here we're leaning forward. Here we're kind of leaning back a little bit. Back to this one, we're leaning forward again. So just kind of changing up what we're doing when we're sitting, and not just sitting, but how can we lean? How can we like make our body kind of fall into these like natural poses? More wall leaning. And then here again, just kind of standing, kind of a cool like downtown shot, standing, hands in the pockets. Of course, you can have them turn, do it from the side, from a little bit of an angle, cross your arms. Another one that I did not put in here that I'm just realizing, and I wish I would have pulled, is I also will have them walk. So like have him back up, and I may say like put one hand in your pocket, maybe both, but just have them like walk towards you and smile, and just that natural movement also makes for a really good photo when you don't have something to lean on, or to do a photo that's not actually leaning. So just for the record, I do photos where they're not leaning as well. But I have found that looking for walls, looking for places to sit, that has helped tremendously in getting a nice variety of photos. So if you've ever struggled to pose males, those are a couple of things that I would recommend that you look for when you're choosing your location, because I know for me, it has made all the difference. So hope that's helpful. Enjoy.